Hey, what's up? All right. So we just took this thing out for its first flight. And oh man, dude, the DJI Spark has won me over so far as hands down the most impressive and exciting kind of platform and just what it represents and what it is and can do and delivers in what it is. I'm sorry, but I don't see how anyone that really knows what about this stuff can't see the potential for like where this is going and what this is about. So DJI knocked it out the park in my opinion after flying it. I had no problems. I had some reservations and I was a little worried. Now I flew mine with the radio. Now the interesting thing that I did not know about this, and I didn't do a lot of research about it. I just know what I've seen, is the phone that you use can either be paired directly to the drone, and what I mean by that is you can control it with the Go app from your phone, just like you can basically the Mavic. But it connects to a different Wi-Fi. It connects to the drone's Wi-Fi in that situation. In the situation I had it, I have the radio. The radio does not have a plug like the Mavic radio does. You actually connect this to a separate Wi-Fi system that's transmitting from here. So that's why this is so heavy now. It makes sense. Is this basically has a Wi-Fi transmitter and receiver unit in it? It's almost kind of like a hub, like almost like um, a router, if you would. It's basically making its own inputs and saying send that to the aircraft, but it's also telling the phone about it and saying, okay, this is what we're doing, and getting the information from the aircraft and then transferring it to the phone. So it's really unique and interesting. However, in setup, I was frustrated. It took me a few minutes, even me, without reading my provided quick start guide. Of course, I wanted to do this way, the traditional hipster way, if you would. I didn't know I was like, it shouldn't have a password. What's the password? And then it clicked. I said, dude, remember, just like the Mavic, it had the password. So the password is going to be here on your sticker below. But that's just for the copter. So I was entering it, I was entering it, I was entering it. I was like, it's not working. So then I looked at the back of my radio, and there's another sticker. And the password there is actually, interestingly, very basic, but I'm not going to show you mine. So then you connect to this Wi-Fi, and it worked. So that was the only real hiccup. There was no update needed. It didn't need an update. It did a compass calibration. It took me a second to get it to let me do a compass calibration, which was a little weird. But I think that had to do with me not having an SD card in it. I think it just was getting booted up and started up and just didn't like everything. So I turned it off, plugged an SD card into it, got it calibrated, and we went to the roof and flew from the top of our parking garage. Now, I've flown the Mavic and I've flown a Phantom 4 from up there, and it does not like it typically. The Mavic more so, it didn't like it in the air. I had some interesting, weird issues at times with it because of the fencing around it. The DJI Phantom itself didn't like the compass either from the ground, whereas the Mavic was a little less sensitive with the ground compass. This no problems. I took it up there. I put it down on the concrete where it's heavily reinforced with rebar, and we'll take a look now in Final Cut what we got. And I can tell you again, just awesomely impressed. This thing is super small, and for the size of it, what we're going to be able to do on a professional level and just on even a hobbyist, just editing and capturing images and footage in new, unique ways, it's like having another, I'll say it's a flying action camera. This is the first time that I really believe in a flying action camera. um, Phantoms and even the Maverick, it's the Mavic, those are, yes, flying action cameras to a sense, but this is just, I don't know, you're not going to go out and try to do the huge on high end stuff, but it will capture a unique perspective in just an amazing way. And so anyways, let's take a look. Here is the takeoff video. 1080 right there. It shows you 1920 29 frames per second. So we'll start that video and I'll start dropping other videos in. So we started here. I walked it over. Oh wait, this was me walking with it. Yeah, this is me just walking. Check this out. Not bad. I mean, stabilization wise, I set it down. I walked off. We'll take, and here's actually where we took off. So we started up the motors and got to flying. I was so impressed off the jump just of the stabilization. I want to say it's almost better than a Mavic. I mean, it seems a little jumpy and jittery, but again, this is first time flying this thing, and I don't know. I'll have to render this out to see how skippy it really is. Um, I felt like it was much smoother in person, but look at the stabilization of the horizon. Even it, I mean, this is a very good shot, a 1080 shot. I mean, I I don't know. I am just so impressed. So we took it, and after we did that, we kept orbiting around, and then our typical shot and our typical flight for any maiden of any of our aircrafts out here is usually in the last 2 years to go get a head-on shot and hit the cemetery. So we're at full tilt right now forward, and again, I was more impressed. I was not impressed with the speed and standard mode necessarily, but I was so impressed with the physical perform, like what I was getting out of it. Like it was smooth. I was not getting any pixelation on the picture video coming back. I can start seeing a horizon drift here, which is interesting. But we'll figure that out. I mean, that's not even that bad. It's not shaking at all. That gimbal is very, very impressive as to what it provided. Um, I was doing about 5.8 miles an hour. It was almost 6 miles an hour on the way out. You can see the wind, it's actually coming in and to the right, which means that's why you see that horizon tilt, right? Like that little bit of horizon tilt is where that third axis gimbal would come in play. And so I don't know that I'm going to be able to get that out. This is it literally fighting the wind a little bit, just kind of, you know, pushing like it's tilted probably like that. I mean, the image, it clearly is doing some image stabilization on board, or at least I believe it is, because I just don't see how else it gets this clean. I mean, look at it. It is just solid. So this is first flight, man. So we get, wait, whoops. I didn't mean to jump that far. Where are we? So we get out to it, to the flag where we typically are, right? Um, and I think I stopped here to go ahead. I did get some blackout, and it was freaky because the screen starts to gray, and then the signal just went away. It was no flicker, and I don't know if there's a setting, but for me, I like the pixelation first, the warning sign, right? But this is, look, that is our nice solid image. We'll take a look at what the actual images look like. So we took a shot there. Look at the depth. I mean, that is dope. So we went back into the video and we got a little more, and then we came back out and I got another picture. That's a picture. I mean, dude, that is a great, great picture. Another picture, and then we turned around and I took some shots of downtown. Here's downtown from the back end. I mean, it is good to go. All right, this was all video actually, and then here we go. We started heading back, so we got back with it. I started heading this way because I wanted to kind of get this shot. Look at that shot. I mean, that is a completely usable shot in a vlog, anything. I mean, that is pretty good. There is a point where I decided to kick this thing into sport mode. I was doing 6 miles, yeah, just over 6 miles an hour back. Um, so it was a little, the wind was helping us. So I just kicked it into sport and it tilted the camera down. Did you see that? It freaked me out. So I kicked it out of sport mode. I didn't know what was going on. So I started messing with the gimbal a little bit. I'm like, did I go low? Like, what happened? Did my altitude drop? So I fixed the gimbal correction or the height. And I'm like, okay, I'm going back. And notice the horizon drift this time. So the horizon drift this time is a little bit down and to the left. And again, this is now because it's actually, compensating going the other direction. But it's a pretty solid horizon. look at this. I mean, the clarity here is really good. And this is not even on a full render out. This is just on a capture, right? So that was that. And then we got some pictures. And I'll post these in the video, obviously. Check those out. I mean, look at, oh man, dude. These are some really, I am very, very impressed with look at this. This is me approaching the church. I turn and I start getting the shot of the church area, right? So that's the church, my building with the Capitol back behind it. And then we get back into, here's the video. So we got back into video. I wanted to get this shot. I try to get this shot every time with all my drones because it's a really cool shot. I do it in different ways. You see it jitter a little bit? See, that's where I swear there's image stabilization. There we go. Dude, solid. I think that is a more solid shot than I could have got with my Mavic first time out. Like just gone and did it. And the focus on this camera, it's infinite feeling. It's dope. Dude, this Spark is what is the beginning of the future, dude. This is the beginning of the future of the DJI stuff. Like they have the camera, we know they can do cameras. Look, this is pan down, that's me. We bring it in and we land it. Look, dude, you can see the hose, the HV. I didn't even know that was there. The HVAC hose that the guys left from working on the ACs, dude. That's dope, dude. That's dope. Love it. All right. So yeah, I am very interested in playing with it more. The gesture mode is interesting. I'll be honest, I don't think I'll use it much. Now, if I can really confidently just take it out, push the buttons, take it, and go, hey, go, and like get it to watch me go fly my other stuff, like that, I might do. I am worried though. I am very worried. This thing is emitting a lot of RF noise. I mean, it's sending, it's receiving, it's taking, it's doing a lot. I just wonder if it'll play nice with other stuff like FPV gear. So we'll have to play with that. Um, be safe with these things. I flew mine indoors with the prop guards on, and again, I would fly with the prop guards if I'm new to this stuff, especially. I even will be using them when I go fly it outdoors. I think I'll find a way to throw them in some sacks somewhere, because there's situations where I think they are definitely going to be usable. Remember, you can't just grab this thing out at situate. It needs safe environments and stuff. Be ready. Calibrate your compass. Apparently, just be ready to always don't take it off from your hand if you don't have to. Make good, smart decisions. Don't be a cool guy. Don't hurt your kids. Don't hurt yourself. Don't hurt your family. Don't hurt people. And I just mean as we get smaller and easier, like people are gonna want to do silly things with these things. I mean, I can already think of some stuff I want to do with it that this is very cool, man. Very, very cool. And if this and the Mavic are anything to show for where we're heading in this consumer drone world, I think this is it. And I think those two machines will become the consumer models of the future. And I think DJI has basically just done what all the other drone companies thought they could do without getting there the way that DJI got there, which was they focused on cameras and gimbals early and the DIY experience and getting the hardware and the stuff right. And then they've pieced it all together in this fashion as the technology got to a point to where it's possible. And after they had the data and knew what they knew and saw what didn't work. And I mean, this is everything that Parrot Drone wanted to be for so long, everything that everybody wanted to be for so long, actually done right so far. We'll see. I don't know. I am so impressed. Great job, DJI. I cannot wait to really, play with this thing more. Sorry, I just switched to this view. Um, I hope you guys fly safe, fly smart, just fly Spark. Peace.